Hello everyone. Let's begin with a question. What makes a house complete? We usually say the walls to enclose it, the rooms inside for living, and a central control system like electricity or water supply to keep everything running. A cell, which is the basic unit of life, is not much different. Every living cell, whether it belongs to a tiny bacterium or to us humans, has three essential parts: the cell membrane, the cytoplasm, and the nucleus. These three structures together form the framework of life itself. Without them, the cell cannot survive, and without cells, life as we know it would not exist. Now imagine a city's security system. There are gates and checkpoints that allow only authorized people to enter or leave. The cell membrane works exactly the same way for a cell. On the slide, there's a valuable diagram of a plant cell highlighting the cell membrane and other structures. Notice that the cell membrane, also called the plasma membrane, forms the thin boundary surrounding the entire cell. It is a living membrane with tiny pores and plays a critical role. It controls what enters and leaves the cell. Scientists call this property semi-permeability, meaning it allows only selected substances like nutrients and gases to pass while keeping unwanted materials out. In plants, there is an additional protective layer called the cell wall made of cellulose. You can see it clearly marked in the diagram as a rigid outer boundary. The cell wall gives plant cells their shape and rigidity. Unlike the plasma membrane, the cell wall is freely permeable, so solutions can move in and out without restriction. This is why plant cells remain firm even when water enters, unlike animal cells which lack this extra support. Once we move past the boundary, we enter the cytoplasm, which is beautifully shown in the diagram on this slide. The cytoplasm fills the entire space between the cell membrane and the nucleus. It looks like a simple jelly under the microscope, but in reality, it's an incredibly active and dynamic medium. It's semi-liquid and serves as the stage where countless life processes occur. Think of it as the factory floor of the cell, where workers, the organelles, are busy performing specialized tasks. As you can see in the diagram, organelles like mitochondria, ribosomes, and the endoplasmic reticulum are suspended within this medium. Thousands of enzyme-catalyzed chemical reactions are constantly happening inside the cytoplasm. These reactions break down food, release energy, build proteins, and sustain the cell's metabolism. The fluid portion without organelles is called the cytosol, acting as the transport medium where molecules move freely. So, while it may seem simple, the cytoplasm is where life truly happens inside a cell. Now, let's zoom in on the nucleus, the star of the show, clearly highlighted in the diagram on this slide. The nucleus is a large, spherical structure usually located near the center of the cytoplasm. It is often called the brain of the cell because it directs and controls all cellular activities. It is surrounded by a double-layered nuclear membrane shown in the diagram, which has tiny pores to allow the exchange of important materials like RNA and proteins. Inside, you can see the nucleoplasm, a semi-fluid that acts as the internal medium of the nucleus. Within the nucleoplasm, there are one or more nucleoli, which appear as dark round structures. These nucleoli are the sites where ribosomes are produced, essential for protein synthesis. You'll also notice a fine thread-like network in the diagram. This is the chromatin. During cell division, chromatin condenses into chromosomes, which we'll explore next. Most importantly, the DNA, our genetic material, is stored safely inside the nucleus. It carries the instructions for building and maintaining life. Take a look at the diagram on this slide. It shows how chromatin fibers condense into chromosomes during cell division. Chromosomes are like instruction manuals of life, carrying genes, which are made of DNA. Every organism has a fixed number of chromosomes, For example, humans have 46 chromosomes arranged in 23 pairs. These chromosomes are responsible for passing traits from parents to offspring. For example, your eye color, blood type, and even certain abilities are determined by the genes on these chromosomes. During mitosis, chromosomes ensure that each daughter cell receives an exact copy of the genetic material. This process maintains consistency from one generation of cells to the next. Isn't it fascinating that, from the simplest bacteria to complex humans, this tiny structure inside the nucleus governs inheritance, traits, and even our evolution? Now that we've seen each part individually, let's step back and understand the big picture. The diagram on this slide beautifully summarizes how the three essential parts work together. The cell membrane acts as a gatekeeper, regulating entry and exit of materials. The cytoplasm is the workshop, hosting countless biochemical reactions and housing specialized organelles. The nucleus serves as the command center, storing genetic instructions and directing cell functions. Together, they ensure the cell's survival, growth, and reproduction. What's truly incredible is that this same framework exists in every living organism, whether it's a microbe, a plant, or a human. This unity of life reflects how evolution has perfected the cellular design over billions of years. Let's quickly recap what we've learned today. Every living cell, no matter how simple or complex, is built around three essential components: the cell membrane, the cytoplasm, and the nucleus. The cell membrane protects the cell and regulates exchange. The cytoplasm is where chemical reactions occur and organelles operate, and the nucleus stores genetic material and controls all activity. On this slide, you can see a summary diagram connecting all these key points. From growth to inheritance, from metabolism to reproduction, these three structures work together tirelessly to sustain life. So, the next time you breathe, think, move, or grow, remember, it's happening because trillions of tiny cells inside you are working in perfect harmony, each with these three essential parts. Biology truly reveals the wonders hidden inside every microscopic corner of life. Until next time, keep exploring, stay curious, and never stop uncovering the magic of the living cell.